back to part 6 of the Dynamite piano tutorial. So far we've covered how to play the verse and the chorus of this song, but now we're going to begin to learn how to play the bridge. And we've actually got a lot of material to cover, so we'll play part of it in this video and finish it off in the next video. So for now, let me show you the next 4 bars we're going to learn. Alright, so we'll focus just on that, and we'll start off with the right hand. Okay, now the bridge begins with the introduction of a new chord, and that's the G sharp minor chord. Now I prefer to make this a G sharp minor 7, and we do this by adding the F sharp note. But I also like to take this upper F sharp note and bring it down here to this location. So our first chord to start the bridge off will be this G sharp minor 7 chord played with F sharp, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Next, we want to bring our right hand almost an octave above that position, and we want to get our middle finger on this G sharp note, and we want to play it 3 times. Now we've got 4 2-note chords to play. The first is D sharp and B with our 1 and 5 fingers. Next we'll play F sharp and D sharp, and then we'll play G sharp and E. And after a brief pause, we'll come down and play E and C sharp. And all these chords are basically played with the same fingering, 1 and 5. So let me recap on that. Next we'll play an A major triad 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next we'll shift our hand up a little bit to play the F sharp, B, and E notes. We're using the 1, 2, and 5 fingers for that. Now we just need to move our pinky up to the D sharp and play that one more time. Now with our thumb still on F sharp, we're going to play that together with our middle finger on C sharp. And finally, we'll place our index finger on B and play that along with the F sharp once more. And if we were to play this whole thing again, a little bit more fluidly, it would sound like this. Okay, now let's try playing it together very slowly using a metronome. Alright, now let's see what the left hand is doing. Remember that G sharp chord we recently installed? Okay, well, we're going to emphasize that chord by adding 2 double G sharp notes and a D sharp note in the bass. Next, we're going to sail up about an octave's length and reach D sharp, F sharp, and the G sharp notes, just below middle C. And I like to use my 3, 2, and 1 fingers to play these notes back and forth. But of course you can use whichever fingers feel most comfortable to you. So just to be clear, our left hand will begin the bridge like this. And incidentally, it's okay to use your sustain pedal while you play this part. Just be sure you release it before we get to the next bar. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is get our hand in this C sharp minor position. And we're going to play the following 8 notes. so those notes are C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp, B, E, and G sharp. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is get our left hand in the A major position. And this time we're going to play 7 notes. And once again, these notes are A, E, A, B, A again, E, C sharp. And finally, let's get our left hand in the B position, and we're going to again play 8 notes. So you notice that this time we're going to overreach the basic octave and play up to the C sharp note as well. Okay, so those notes again are B, F sharp, B, C sharp, B again, F sharp, E, and D sharp. And just notice which fingers I'm using. 5, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if we were to play this left hand part from beginning to end, it would sound like this. I also want to remind you that when you're changing chord positions, just be sure you're releasing your sustain pedal in between each chord position. Okay, now if you're up for it, let's play this together very slowly using a metronome. Okay, now I think we're ready to begin playing the bridge with both hands. Let's start out with that G sharp minor 7 chord I told you about earlier. Remember, our left hand is playing 2 G sharps and a D sharp. And our right hand is playing F sharp, G sharp, B, and D sharp. Next, both hands will reach up about an octave. With our right hand, we're going to play 3 G sharp notes, while our left hand accompanies with D sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. After our right hand plays the first G sharp note, the left hand is going to join in with D sharp and F sharp. Next, our right hand plays a D sharp B chord, while our left hand plays G sharp and F. Next, our right hand plays an F sharp D sharp chord followed by a G sharp E chord, while our left hand plays a single D sharp note. So let me go over those 3 steps again. Okay, now remember, our right hand is held on the G sharp E chord, while our left hand will get into the C sharp chord position. After our left hand plays the first 4 of 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the right hand will come back in and play E and C sharp on that 5th note. So it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next, the left hand moves down to the A major position to play 7 notes, while our right hand plays 5 A major triads. And finally, our right hand moves up to play 4 chords, starting with F sharp, B, and E, while our left hand plays 8 notes in the B position. So let me show you all that again very slowly. if you feel you got the hang of this, let's play this together very slowly with a metronome. Okay, now let's see what this looks like on sheet music. Okay, now let's work on the next 4 bars of the bridge. It's somewhat similar to what we just played, with just a few variations. Alright, so for now, let's work on that, and we'll start off with the right hand. Okay, let's start out with our thumb on G sharp, just above middle C. We're going to play 2 G sharps and 1 B with our index finger. Next we'll play 4 2-note chords. The first is F sharp and D sharp, played with our 1 and 4 fingers. Next we'll play G sharp and E with our 1 and 5 fingers. Next we'll come down and play E and C sharp. And finally we'll shoot back up to B and G sharp. And these 2 chords are also played with the same fingering, 1 and 5. Next we'll play our A major triads 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll shift our hand up a little bit to play the F sharp, B, and E notes. We're using the 1, 2, and 5 fingers again. Now we'll move our pinky up to the D sharp and play one more time. Now with our thumb still on F sharp, we're going to play that together with our middle finger on C sharp. And finally we'll place our index finger on B and play that along with the F sharp once more. And this is how the whole thing should look if you play it all the way through. Okay, now I'll play that once more very slowly with a metronome. Okay, now we're going to focus on the left hand. And if you remember from a few segments ago, we started off using a G sharp minor chord. But this time, we're not actually going to play the chord itself. We're going to play the notes of G sharp minor 7 individually. So that means that we're going to have to stretch a little bit more this time. So with our left pinky on this G sharp note, we're going to play the following 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the notes I'm playing here are G sharp, D sharp, F sharp, B, F sharp, D sharp, and G sharp again. Also notice that I'm using the 5, 3, 2, and 1 fingers here. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is get our left hand, we're going to get it into the C sharp minor position, and we're going to play the same 8 notes as before. And those notes again are C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp, B, E, and G sharp again. And from here we're going to go down to the A major position, and this time we play 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once again, these notes are A, E, A, B, A, E, and C sharp. And finally, we'll get back in the B position, but we'll switch it up a little and play these 8 notes. And notice this time it almost seems like we're climbing stairs and reaching all the way up to this higher D sharp note. Okay, so these notes again are B, F sharp, B, F sharp, D sharp, C sharp, F sharp, and D sharp. And just also notice the fingering that I'm using here. 5, 2, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1. Okay, so if we play this left hand part all the way through, it sounds like this. So now, let's play this part together very slowly using a metronome. 2, 3, and. Okay, now let's add the left hand and right hand parts. The left hand is actually going to begin with that stretched out G sharp chord played one note at a time. So the first notes we hear are the G sharp and D sharp notes of the left hand. Next, as our right hand plays 2 G sharp notes, our left hand plays F sharp and B. Then our right hand plays the B note with our left hand playing F sharp and D sharp. Now when our left pinky reaches back down for that lower G sharp note, our right hand plays 2 chords. Okay, now with our right hand still holding the G sharp E chord, our left hand comes up into the C sharp chord position. After our left hand plays the first 4 of 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, the right hand will play E and C sharp, the left hand plays 2 more notes. Next, the right hand jumps up to play B and G sharp, the left hand again plays 2 more notes. Okay, let me just play that again. Now the next thing we need to do is get our left hand in the A major position to play 7 notes, while the right hand plays 5 A major triads. And finally, our right hand moves up to play 4 chords, starting with F sharp, B, and E, while our left hand plays 8 notes in the B position. Okay, so let me show you that again very slowly. And now see if you can join me, and let's play this together very slowly with a metronome. see what this looks like written on sheet music. Okay, well, we're halfway through learning the bridge for this song, but we've got yet another video coming up with brand new music waiting for us. So catch me in part 7 of this piano tutorial, and I'll teach you how to play this.